This is Mike Moore, and if you don't mind asking, I'm just going to ask you a few questions. Sure. Kind of give me your impression of the facility here and what it means to the team.
Well, I think it's one of a kind as far as baseball facilities in this part of the country. And a typical day like today, you know, it's kind of a cold, nasty 30 degrees, the field's wet. You can still get your work done in here, which is going to give them a big advantage when they eventually do get into their schedule, which is sneaking up in a couple of weeks. I mean, you would ultimately like to get outside and get the outside feel, but to have a place like this, you really can't put a price on it.
Now, when you played here 25 plus years ago, what did you do?
Well, we had indoor facilities per se, but you know, for pitchers it was a little bit different because we had mounds inside and we could do our work inside. But you know, pretty much everything else, conditioning and all the other stuff, we did at the aerobics center, and the weight room and everything was up there. So you know, this is a totally different setup now. This is a great facility.
The players have to be really excited about it.
Well, if they're not, they should be. Somebody needs to tell them they should be because it's a great place.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Like you said, it gives them a leg up. I assume they can come over here on their off hours too and practice.
Yeah, they can. I think they can get in here. Guys come in and hit in the cages, and you know, if they have extra work to do, they come in. And yeah, it's a good facility. It's good for for a lot of reasons. I know the soccer team gets a chance to come in here, and obviously there's a pole vaulting pit over in the corner, and it's just a great asset to the school.
Now, what are you doing now? Are you live in Tulsa, or?
Well, kind of. I kind of live in Tulsa, but not full time. I actually have a place here. Okay. Since my son is here playing baseball, and we're empty nesters, my wife and I bought a condominium here, and so we come out for the spring and watch baseball and just kind of be retired.
Great.
I guess the continuation is I actually own a cattle ranch in southeastern Arizona. I've owned for about 17 years, and I coached high school baseball at a small Christian school for 10 years, but retired from that a couple of years ago, and so now I'm just kind of retired again.
Great, yeah. Great. Now, do you help out with the pitching? Do you help out with the coaching at all?
I usually just watch. You know, Rob Walton and I are good friends, and you know, so we just communicate, and I listen to Rob because I don't think there's anybody better in the country at what he does.
What's your impression of Rob? Kind of give me what your...
Well, Rob and I have become friends over the years. I mean, obviously, you know, he was actually at Oklahoma State when I played here, and he's a little bit younger than I am, but we've become friends since he's became the head coach here. And I'm not saying this because he's my friend, but I really don't think there's anybody better in the country. I mean,
we're blessed to have him.
He runs a really good program, but you know, he does a great job as the head coach, but I don't think there's probably a better college pitching coach in the country because he understands the whole package and he can communicate it with the kids.
Talk about just an impression as a fan. He seems to really embrace the legacy of ORU.
Well, I think so. You know, he's kind of made that part of the passion of being here. You know, he's tried to get guys besides myself, but you know, there were a lot of guys from the Larry Koshel era that were kind of lost in the shuffle when Sonny Galloway came through for a few years, and then after Sonny left, and Rob has been trying to get the alumni back involved with the program, and he's having some success. I think he'd like to have a little bit more success, but you know, that just comes from people getting to know Rob and the relationship with him, and you know, I think in time it'll happen.
Great.